We have a quorum. Begin the meeting with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So looking at the flag made me, let us bring up a miscellaneous item to start us with. We did have a dedication ceremony yesterday morning at 10 o'clock for the new prisoner of war missing in action memorial that we have on the courthouse property, and it was so cold. I thought I was going to pull up and it was going to be me and Sam Austin would be the only two up there, looking at it.
Yeah.
But as I pulled in, there was a big crowd of people.
450 people.
And
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
it went really well, and there were a lot of people that the Ostermans thanked, and including they thanked our board, they thanked Mr. Wentholt, and took a lot of people to get it done, but it got done in under 70 days, really. I mean, that's from the time it was approved as a project, there's the time it got done. So that's a pretty big accomplishment, and it looks like it's going to be an enduring memorial to those who served and were prisoners of war missing in action. So it's a pretty neat thing that I'm glad we were a small part of it. So, and I think that thing got over at about 10:45. I think I warmed up about 8 that night and felt like I just don't think I was dressed appropriately. so it was a great thing. We have the minutes from our previous meeting. Anybody have any changes to those?
No.
I'll move that we approve the minutes.
One second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have the claims. Anybody have any changes or questions there?
Changes.
I'll move that we approve.
One second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Same thing with the payroll. Anybody have any problems with the payroll, how that was put together? I'll move that we approve the payroll.
One second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I don't recall, I think we had the treasurer's report, but I don't think we had a clerk report. this
You
time.
had it last time.
So, if you have any problems with those, please see the appropriate office holder. We have highway reports, Mr. Wentholt's here.
Thank you, sir.
Is there gonna be, is there gonna be an event that they're doing, swearing in or anything this year? So Amy mailed these to us, or mailed one to me at least.
I'm gonna double check. I don't remember seeing one.
So, part of me was just like, I haven't heard anything about it, so I was going to just, have Sandy do it if she would. Because we have to send it by end of January, but I thought I'd get it over with.
Gotcha.
You may wanna look for that.
Double check. They're gonna pack me on that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna do both the highway department and my engineer's report. Sanitation sites, the 2024 hours. So Christmas Day, New Year's Day, I think Don reported this last meeting, but I want to go through it again. Christmas Day, New Year's Day, both won't fall on Wednesdays, so the sanitation sites are closed anyways. And then Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve are on Tuesdays, so the sites usually open from 8 to 12 instead. They're gonna open them from 8 to 12 instead of their usual shift of 10 to 6. So just alternate sooner. And then a reminder for Steve's Christmas party and retirement party. We'll have an open house for retirement from 9 to 11. And then we'll have our annual Christmas party from 11:30 to 12.
What day?
They're both on the 20th. So we're gonna have his family and early kind of go breakfast for him.
Nice.
And then we're gonna open it up from 9 to 11 for the county people that they want to stop by. And then 11:30 is our big dinner that we always have every year.
So for the board, for number one, I don't know if we approved that last time or not. Does anybody have any problem with changing the hours for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? From 10 to 6 to 8 to noon on those 2 days?
Not a problem.
That seems like it makes sense to me. I would ask that you type something up, just like a paragraph, and I'll put it on the Facebook page so people have noticed it.
Website, I already made a note.
And, okay, so just so we make it official, I'll move that we approve changing the hours for the sanitation sites from 8 to noon instead of 10 to 6 on the New Year's Eve and Christmas Day.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay,
Okay, do you want to wait till we're ordering annual bids or go through now?
we'll do that at 9 o'clock.
All right. So what was my engineering portion? So Max and I had a meeting. Well, we thought it was going to be a meeting for training on the Verizon fleet. It was not one-on-one. There were actually 26 people in the class. It is a kind of a recording. They go through this. You ask questions. Oh, we'll get to that at the end. We asked 2 questions, and one of them did not get answered or even addressed. So customer service is not one-on-one. It's not very user-friendly. This company, based on the people that were in the session, is more for the big over-the-road trucks. Guys are going cruising the country,
Makes sense.
things like that. They seem to be more concerned with fuel mileage, start times, stop times for the guys' logs than they were with any kind of error codes that would pop up on the breakdowns, things like that. They kept referencing that. We asked about error codes, and that was the one thing that never came up during the training. But they were definitely concerned with fuel mileage and then start stop times, which for over-the-road CDL truck drivers, that's a huge deal. So that's where they're coming from. So not that Verizon is a bad company, but it's not geared toward counties. So I got the prices listed below. The Verizon, oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. Verizon only gives location every 30 seconds. Again, it's not a huge deal for over-the-road truck drivers when you're on interstate, but for us, where you can ride down the road, 30 seconds later, you take a left, and you take a right, you don't catch that path. Samsara, it's live the whole time. It knows exactly, it's followed every second you're getting the location.
Okay.
So the prices are listed below. So currently, we're paying $5,476.80 a year for Verizon. We have 23 powered asset tracking units for $1,595 a month, and then 9 vehicle tracking, which is just straight tracking. It doesn't give us any kind of data, for $995 a month. The Samsara quote is for $7,341.60 a year, but that's for 26 vehicle gateway tracking, which is the one that gives us all of our information on the vehicles. Then 9 assets for $1,540. That's just tracking the vehicle as it's running down the road. So, and then there's $104 for shipping and handling. But this is also for obviously 3 more units. So the price is a little bit deceiving. If we did do apples to apples, it would raise the Verizon fleet one $574.20. So then we would be paying $6,051. So it's roughly $1,300 more to go with Samsara a year for more equipped is what we do. Based on people I've talked to, other counties, other municipalities, Samsara's customer service, you're actually talking to a guy. There's a person that will give you training. There's a person that can call and talk to you. It's not a big webinar, if that makes sense. So there are several other counties in the state that are using them, and I went to them, and they're really loving them. I talked to Harrison County. I talked to Kevin. I respect the heck out of him, and he's recommending them tenfold. So I would like to switch to Samsara, but obviously it's your guys' call. So there's the data.
So the tracking unit itself that goes in every truck, we rent that
We
per month?
We pay for just the service. We buy the unit. I think
We
purchase of the unit. Yeah, it is our unit, but it's goes to a monthly fee. The unit is ours.
Okay.
So,
Well, customer service is a big thing. I mean,
like I said, the Verizon is more for the over-the-road guys. Samsara appears to be more per truck, understanding what our trucks are doing. PTOs are on, PTOs are off, what the error code is specifically. The Verizon will pull an error code, But when you hit the error code to see what it is, it sends you to Google, and then you gotta go find it through Google. So that sucks. So,
Oh, okay.
You could have done that research on your own.
exactly.
Do you have funding?
Yeah, we can,
Just
yeah.
haven't
I
taken
talked to
the
Zach,
same line
it's
item.
the same line item, yeah.
I didn't know if it was short, you want something else a whole lot.
No, not this.
I was reading my notes on this from months ago, so I actually had it written down to ask you about it again today, so I'm glad you brought it up, and I'm happy that you took the time to try to do some training with them or to have your questions answered before we just switched, because that was one of the things that I thought maybe they would serve us better if we would ask them or if we, whatever, so you've done that. I trust that the engineer has done his due diligence on it, and this seems like a reasonable request to make. Trust center?
I agree, it was presented well, so, know what you're dealing with here, so.
Okay, appreciate that.
Commissioner
Yeah,
Stetson?
you've done plenty of research, I trust it.
So how about the next step would be that you have to get some kind of an agreement together and share with Mr. Aaron, myself,
Yeah.
make sure it has our included language.
So, this is what they presented me. I may not have sent this to you because I had all the intentions of really sending it to you, I didn't.
Nope, I didn't read.
That's fine.
that.
That's fine, I'd say that's probably holiday week and everything else going on. So I will give this to Greg, I will forward all that on, that's not a problem, but that's what they did present me, so you guys know where
Anybody know what
this
it says?
when it came
I
from.
would give it to Greg.
That's what I was gonna say. You'll
That's
send
fine.
you digital
Yeah.
copy and give this one to him.
Yep, I can do that, that's not a problem. Like I said, I have not looked through it enough. I got it on Friday of last week, with Verizon, there is one on there. I'll have to find that, because it does. Yep. Yeah, I will do that when I get back, I'll start looking through that.
That's a good point too. I don't know what our
I
agreement.
never looked at that yet. I'll look at that. So I will do that when I get back. I know Ann has got that contract. So, okay, so I will, at the 16th meeting, I'll have all that buttoned up and we can formalize that.
That's great.
National Bridge inspections, or countywide bridge inspections. Been scoring these with everything else going on. I'm kind of hitting and missing. I will have everything ready for you on the 16th, and we're still ahead of schedule if I do that. So that's not the end of the world. 8 of them to go through is not the most enjoyable reading in the world. We had 8, and they're all very qualified. Just finding the right person, right job. So, okay, this is a tough one. This one still burns me a little bit here, but it's highway safety improvement program. So, unfortunately, I guess I made a mistake. There was something in the NOFO, which is the notice of funding. I had to, in DOT, they have ITAP. It's a technical assistance program that we have. And that's where we do all of our applications for community crossings, for local bridge inspections, things like that. I thought the federal aid was already in there. Well, it was not. On the 21st of November, I went in and requested that application to come into my ITAP account. In the NOFO, it says they have to be requested by the 20th. I missed it by a day. So we cannot apply for this round of highway safety improvements. Yeah, I can go down that rabbit hole, I really don't want to because it's kind of irritating. So
this is the work for improving the approaches to bridges.
So I missed the boat. This is the first time they've ever done that, but it had to request a call by a certain date or else you don't get it. So nobody knew about it. It was in the NOFO, which I saw it, but I didn't think the application would be the problem because I already had an ITAP account. I was off, someone done this, again, my fault, I screwed up, whatever.
No exceptions.
Yeah, no exceptions. I talked to them directly, talked to Mike Hales, talked to Kathy Eden. They were like, nope. So it is what it is. Anyways, as part of looking through that, when I made the call request, they noticed that we did not have a primary contact for our ITAP account. Steve was, but Steve was not active on the account, and he had not been active for over a year, so they canceled his account. By canceling his account, we had no primary. I was the secondary, so we technically would have been, I guess, obsolete at that point too. So what I do have is a request or a letter from you guys stating that I would be the primary account for our ITAP program through NDOT. And I can get that to Mike Hales. It's just stating that I will be the primary representative for DuBois County.
That's all they'll need.
That's all I need. So I do need a motion. It's pretty simple, but
You wanna check it out before we approve it?
Kind of do that stuff to you, because I know you do that to me too.
just things that it was never told. It was just put in a NOFO and irritating.
I'll move that we allow Engineer Winholt to become the primary contact for DuBois County on NDOT's ITAP system.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And there's it.
All right, and then I did send you guys that letter from, an email from a lady on 150 North, didn't I? Okay,
Yes.
so she's requesting to reduce the speed limit from 600 west to 500 west over by Shamrock Cabinets.
Mhm.
I've done preliminary data based on my spreadsheets that I have that I got from ITAP for LTAP and LTAP. And it still says 45 is a safe speed on there. It is a little bit hilly. I think it's fine. We could probably update some signage on it, but dropping the speed limit, again, that's up to you guys. It really is.
What kind of signage can we put up besides
Well,
changing it?
There's the factory crossing ones. Those could be upgraded. They're kind of old.
Okay.
We could put some.
So there's something current there.
Yeah, there's signs there, but they are faded, and they probably could be updated, and shine a little bit better, put some new speed limit signs up. Ultimately, we can put 35-mile speed limit signs up, but people are not gonna slow down. So, that's the thing,
Same issue that we had on Meridian
Meridian.
Road.
correct? So,
The way I look at it is it's just an enforcement thing. If you have police sitting there doing it,
Mm,
then
Yeah.
people will go to speed limit, drive safely. If they don't, they won't. But
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I think that's.
it's just it's a straight road is what it is, and people can gain a lot of speed getting off that road.
mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to drive out by there again. I looked at it on the overhead map. You can't tell
I
anything
did
from
too. You
that.
can't tell.
Yeah,
I did look.
It's flat and straight.
Yeah.
I did look.
So, can you remind me, what was the issue? Just people going too high speed and unsafe for
Yeah.
someone to come off onto the road?
She says there's, well, where Shamrock Cabinets is, it's on a knoll.
Uh-huh.
And a few of those entrances, you could get too far over on one entrance, you can't see
Yeah.
to the east or to the west based on which side you're going to. But based on some aerials that I had, I did some measuring, you can at least see 400 feet, which is our county maintenance, our minimum whenever we put a new drive. So it does meet those, but she does have a point that there are tractor trailers coming in and out of there with trailers, they can't get a lot of speed. It's not like a car, you pull out, you go where you're going. So she's got a point there. I get it, but that's really what it amounts to. The homes on there are not thinking that there's not enough of them to make it a big deal, so.
So is there a sign that specifically says factory entrance on
Mhm.
both ends of it?
That sure is.
I'd say we don't give it a definite no, but like I said, we try the signage and
See what happens.
maybe we'll have a chance to drive out by there, maybe we'll agree with it, maybe we won't, but I wouldn't be in favor of making a change just yet. But yeah, if we get updated signs with up a little bit, what do you think?
I would agree.
I can, so you want me to put, I can send Tim out, update all the signs that are out there.
I think that would be a
I mean,
good
if it's
start.
necessary, the signs
I
are in
think,
good
well,
shape,
the
then don't
factory
have to-
ones, they're old. They are definitely old. It would be nice to put some more reflective signs that make them pop a little bit. The speed limit signs, if I remember right, they are the new prismatic, but they may be a little faded. I haven't looked that hard, so, but I know factory signs are dated, so those could definitely be updated.
I mean, safety's our first priority, and
Yep.
I just don't see that changing it from 45 to 35 improves the safety where signage may give somebody a different.
Somebody that's went through there over and over and over at a high speed is not gonna change.
Yeah, right.
They're not, the signage is not, they're not even gonna look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get somebody out there to kind of
Enforcement
enforce
would be
it.
nice, but
I mean, I could make that call too if, to Tom or whoever, but
like I said, I think there may be a problem, but I don't think lowering the speed limit is the solution to that
we
problem.
could start with this and then
And yes, I'll drive by there too. I'll take a look at it.
Okay,
Look at
so
it
you
in the
want me to leave it on my report for next month, or next meeting?
Bring it up in January again.
On January, okay, I can do it.
Okay.
Yep. That is all that I have.
Then you'll come back to us at 9 o'clock with the
Yep.
bids. Thank you. Okay, we have a couple of ordinances. Mayor, will you present on that, please? What the changes are?
Yes, so, two ordinances. One was we had adopted the contract terms. Typo was found in our Exhibit A. I believe that is 2024-17. As being presented simply to amend that typographical error. Won't impact anything online yet, because we haven't sent that ordinance in, so that should take care of it. And while I was doing that, this old one was haunting me. I had used the wrong abbreviation for commercial solar in the solar ordinance. I think I referred to it as a CSC, which was incorrect. So I wanted to basically adopt that we were changing that retroactively down the right abbreviation. No substance has changed in either ordinance, in my opinion. It's just a end-of-year cleanup.
And a reasonable reader would have known what you intended, but this way.
That's correct. No one has ever said, well, what in the world is this? What's a CSC? It's implied, but I want to get it cleaned up in the online system for sure, for people who might search that. So it's also always good to have a public meeting where I point out my clerical errors.
Right.
So that's what these are for too.
Have we officially reappointed him?
Not yet.
Did we sign that this morning?
Okay, so
Are we gonna know that?
So ordinance number 2024-17, an ordinance regarding county contract requirements, and ordinance 2024-18, an ordinance amending ordinance 2022-12. These are both, been explained to us, and I'm trying to move that we approve the ordinances as written.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure thing.
So let's just go through some miscellaneous things until our next agenda item. We discussed previously about Baker Tilly coming down at our next meeting to, sometime next month, to discuss preliminary rate analysis and promote proposed financing for the regional sewer district. We have some preliminary data here, and I don't know if either of you had a chance to look at this, but I would ask that you give it a review. If you have any questions, try to hit them up ahead of time. I had a question about that one portion of it. They have a cost of issuance, so whenever you get a bond for a project, you gotta pay bond counsel, and you gotta pay lawyers, and you have to pay a bunch of things, and they were estimating that at like $490,000. And one of our options here, one of the alternatives is basically the county paying, either getting all grants, that would be an option, a very unlikely option, but we could either pay cash or get all grants, right? If we did those two options, there would be no grant fund or no cost of issuance, so that amount would go down. And I don't know, I guess I've been going back and forth with them a little bit, but if you have any questions, this has been sent to you, so please check it out. I look forward to that, and hopefully this will continue to move our project forward. Anybody have any thoughts on what they've seen so far? I don't know if either of you saw this either. This came to the county. Sandy, do you have the appointments ready? Do we need to do those one at a time or? Oh, no, we have that at 9:15. I apologize. I didn't know that was on the agenda. I thought it was in the swings. How about this? Let's do those surplus items. Do you have any choices?
I didn't have a list. I just had a look. There's the survey numbers and different items.
Okay. So we had miscellaneous surplus items that we would like to declare surplus to get them out of the county inventory. Sandy did send some information on items that were in the computer room. We had some old server components and some keyboards, some mice.
I cleaned out their whole room because we had so much stuff back there that was never being used. Every time you get new computers, you get new keyboards, people don't want those with the wireless, or they want to keep what they had, so they just get stacked up back there. There's a box of power cords, a box of just stuff that were mice. We're never gonna use them all.
Sure,
I did save a few as spares, but we don't need 50 of them.
sure.
When those components come in like a new laptop, is it in a box and the box already has the mouse in it?
Yes, everything's in it.
Because I had said,
Yeah.
can you just ask Matrix not to send them anymore?
No.
But if it's all one package, you're gonna get them anyway.
Paying for it,
It's in the unit price, because it's a unit.
right? We're paying for
So we have a bunch of those things. Some of that is listed on the page that was just sent over. Also, the prosecutor's office has a microwave, an old microwave they need to get rid of. Also, the sheriff's department matron has done a thorough job of going through everything that they have. They went through their inventory. Sandy, do you want to speak about that?
Well, she took over a month to go through each office, and she took the bills with the new bill, and she made sure all the invoices matched what she had. There was a lot of items that were missing and gone.
And during the course of the project, we did allow a number of things to be disposed upon.
Right. So to clean up things off of our inventory, we need to get those off.
So a list of those things have been sent to us as well, and I guess I just wanted to move that we approve the disposal of all of these surplus items.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Aye, motion carries. At our last meeting, we discussed BIS Digital Basic Streaming Solution from that company about the conference room technology. I don't know if anybody had a chance to consider that any further. I did send an email to the council members, and I think both of you, and I did have 2 council people respond. One of them is looking into a local person they thought may be able to do the job. So I thought that was worth examining. Because I don't know, I'll just leave it at that, doing that, because $19,000 or so is a big investment for the county, and I'm not, the way I am, I guess I'd like to have the upgraded equipment. I think it'd be better long-term, more professional, but I'm not super behind it. You know, it's not like something that's really I'm passionate about. So if one of the 2 of you was, then I'd be completely in favor of it. And if the 2 of you said, I'm not really interested in continuing forward with that, I'd be okay with that too. The 2 council members that I think responded they thought it'd be nice.
Yeah.
They thought that the proposal looked like it was good and in order and a nice product, but again, I don't know that anybody is super passionate about making sure this is gonna happen. But they're not opposed to it
I
either.
don't know about super passionate as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I think it would be a very nice addition. I think it's, the level of professionalism that it provides that would be nice, but $20,000 is still a lot of money.
Agreed. I think, it's a great thing, but $20,000 is quite a bit.
Because what we have is under $1,000 solution and working. It's not working great.
Right.
So how about this? I'll see see if that council person, if they reach out to that local person and that guy says, hey, I can do it. And to me, it seems like the technology is available, that if someone knew what they were doing, they could get it done for a lot less than $20,000.
Just see what the options are.
Yes,
See
so-
what they're thinking.
I think CIS Digital would do a fine job, would be professional, they've overhead, and they have a lot of things too. But I think we'll leave the door open for it, how's that sound?
Good.
If you'll give me a moment, I'd appreciate it.
Sandy, the appointments, all the ones that we signed, can we make a copy of one of those? One of them, I have a meeting tonight and I thought maybe I could give a copy to someone this evening, is that okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
Or I could give you the original, and
well, I didn't know if you needed to keep the
I just-
original on file.
I think we give them the original and then we can keep the.
Oh, okay. Cause the one I will see tonight.
I'll let Em and Lynn look at that, because they're. I'll hold it out.
Is Marky working today?
I don't
Okay, I didn't know if he had said anything to you, so that's what I was.
No, I know. Don't keep track of it.
Let's go ahead and do the owner occupied rehabilitation bid openings. Can we do that, Greg? We should probably wait till 8:45, right?
9:45.
Because people may still be bringing them in. I'll
Okay.
go over and check. I can call them.
All right, so, Mr. Kleesner's here
How many bids
with
come
the
back?
county council, and I'll bring up something regarding the RFP for the courthouse and the temperature control project we discussed last time. Is that okay to discuss that? Sure. Okay, so I think you came up with a proposed timeline for this project if the council agrees to, right, if the council would say it seems like something we want to do. But this is just a preliminary thing. Is it okay if I share that with the
They
board?
already approved, I mean, we kind of approved it.
You kind of said a thumbs up, but
As long as it doesn't exceed a whole lot more than what, you know, the way over budget that we were thinking about.
right. So you gave it a preliminary approval. So here are some of the dates that it sounds like would happen here. If so where are we? I guess I'm confused a little bit on the document, the RFP. It's in order. I mean, I think we've looked at it. It's in good shape, right? Is there any other additions or changes we need to make to that?
Just the ones you're about to discuss. Well, I mean, we need to fill in those timelines.
Right, these are
They've
filled
been
in.
provided, I have not filled them in yet.
Okay, so in short, we would put out this request for proposals for people to do the work for the temperature controls in the county courthouse. The deadline for this, for the contractors to ask questions would be December 27th. We would get proposals in no later than January 6th. We would begin the review of those proposals, maybe grade exams for them, beginning around the January 13th. We would select a contractor on March 3rd. Does that sound like
I think it met the timelines. The only thing, you know, I was hoping that we would get this out before Thanksgiving, which didn't happen, so just so we got enough time to advertise for the bids. You
Do
know,
we have to do it twice?
Yeah, yes, sorry.
otherwise it
I'm
gets,
looking for my draft.
you know, it seems like it lines up with the council approving the final payment, you know, or soliciting in January, I guess, and we would do the second one in February and then award it in March. We'll do the second one.
So how about this, as far as what the commissioners would do today, these are preliminary deadlines. I guess we could move them up a week if we needed to. If you think that because we kind of got to this point a little slower than we anticipated.
No. it's gonna be a little difficult. I mean, we have to watch our timing because of the holidays and the press. That's Jenny. Because you already have to send it to them almost a week ahead of time when it gets to the paper.
So why don't we,
Because if you sent it now, it wouldn't be on until next week's paper.
I guess what I would ask the board, is the board okay with this kind of a timeline and that between Mr. Kleesner, myself, and Mr. Schneier, within 2 weeks of what's on here, we will modify these dates just to make this move forward so that we can start this
Keep process.
process? Is there any problem with that?
No.
So the board is, if we'll just make a note in the minutes that the board is okay with us putting together these timelines and deadlines, then we'll do that. And then I guess the 16th, by that point, we should have these things, the advertisement process started. Does that sound right, Mr. Schneier? That sounds doable?
We have to send it to the press this Thursday.
Just adding those dates in, so.
Right. So between the three of us,
You
we
had
have
another comment on it, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes.
if we added, I can't remember exactly what we said. That's many other.
That's fine.
But I mean, I sent it.
It's in an email, yes.
I sent it to everybody, it's just adding that number 11 item, I think it was the number 11 in the front page of the second page. I can't remember what it said anymore, but,
right, it's all memorialized in an email so we can put those things together. So, okay, so the three of us will work on it and we'll have that process going by our next meeting on the 16th. Good enough? Is that okay with you, Mr. Schneier? Is that doable?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So you guys are gonna work on to get the RFP ready for advertising.
The RFP is substantially complete. There's some blanks that need to be filled in for dating. When we will accept the proposals, when we will review them, when we will award. But the guts of the proposal are all complete. Anybody want to see that? Or do you think so? I think it's the same one we had last time, and whatever problems we had with it were sent correctly. All right. Mr. Schneier, did you have any other items from the board today?
Just those two ordinances.
Did you guys talk about the metal detectors too with the surplus?
We did not, so we can just add that too, that we have we've approved ordering new metal detectors and a bag scanner and some wands and some other components for the process. The two metal detectors that are that are already owned by the county under the inventory of the EMA department, they need to be disposed of too. So that was one of the components of the surplus that we've agreed to get rid of. Does that change anybody's opinion of anything? My initial thought was they still have some functionality. Why don't we try to see if somebody wants them? And I thought that might put us at liability if somebody tries to use those and something bad happens and the county had given these away. Then I think that's probably a bad idea. So I think disposing of them, recycling them would be better. Does that work?
Maybe we'll get something from Junket or something.
Right.
Never know.
Okay, we have a agreement here from CSI Computer Systems. Is this the one with the recorder's office?
It's the recorder's office, has 2 copies of it. I think she ends up signing it, but I think it's her support program.
Yeah, I don't know if I've looked at this one. Have I?
I don't know, she gave it to me last week.
Greg, have you looked at this one?
I did, yes.
I don't remember looking at this one. Is this something that we both looked at? I don't remember.
I don't recall if we both looked at it or not. She shared it with me. I think it was fine. I had given the language that we needed to put in there. It's a renewal of what we already have in place. I was fine with it.
It does not appear to have what requires language, at least with what I have here.
Any notes here?
Having required contractual language has become a pain in the butt.
Especially on some of these things we've had for years.
Right, and it's not gonna really change much, but, so we could either waive our rules of requiring it and sign it as it is, or we could push it off this.
Is yours a 2-page document?
It is a front and back, yes, and then they have a pricing that they. So is this all our things?
It's not all of them, those are the ones that were important to put in this 1-page renewal.
Suspension of debarment. No, I ran.
Well, they were kind of these last ones.
You believe it's not exact, but it meets the general.
It's in sufficient form, significantly similar.
Okay. Anybody want to review this any further? Okay. I'll move that we approve the service maintenance agreement covering the equipment in the recorder's office.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, and we can let the recorder sign this on the county's behalf. Okay, it looks like it's 8:45. If we could do the owner occupied rehabilitation bid openings. Jenny Mize is here.
Morning.
Good morning.
This morning is a rebid of the roofing components that we had bid out previously. There are 8 homes. And I know this is probably gonna be awkward here. If they bid lump sum or if they bid per home.
Here's the first one is from T&T Roofing, they bid per home.
Okay.
They have bid form 96. Do you want me to read them off individually?
Whatever works best for you, because I will send you a breakdown of
And we
it.
didn't have to advertise this because it's a rebid, right?
It is, we don't have to advertise from here on out. We did it once and then all
That's
homes,
what I thought.
which is really awkward and it makes me nervous, but
This is just the time we've assigned to open.
yes.
So they have their bid form and then they have their non-collusion affidavit.
Okay.
They have bid on the one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 8 properties, all 8. And they have their cashier check.
Okay.
I would say that we would just simply compile a list that we can set all those forth instead of going through each page individually.
Works for me.
Jenny, was your goal to award the bids today, or award it today?
No.
So for
You
that,
can just review
what I would do is I'd just make sure that all things are in order, announce who the bids are from, compile that information, and have a bid tab sheet at our next meeting.
I'll have contracts and tabs and everything for the next meeting, if that works for you.
I'd be happy to approve it today if you had time after this, or we could do it at the next meeting.
I can give you I can run it real quick.
I was gonna say, we'll be here for another half hour, so if that's enough
I
time.
like spending time with you, so.
All right, who's the next?
Next bid came in from Gogol Roofing. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, They have put in a bid on all 8 properties as well. Collusion affidavit. The bid require a bond. So I know that a bid bond is in place for these. I'll check with them. Need a bid bond or a check, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
And there's,
Those appear to be in order as well.
okay,
Third set comes from a John Collins Contracting. They also have submitted a bid for all 8 properties. I did not see that there's a bid bond or check. Unless it's stuck in here with other stuff. So that may be an incomplete bid, but those are the 3 bids and they are bidding on all 8 properties.
And are these the bidders that you expected?
yes, sir.
And how about this? You just want to give them a review with Mr. Schneier, and if you feel like it's an appropriate time to award the bids, we can consider that. If it's not, if you need more time, we'd rather do it right than do it fast. So if you want to check that out.
I will look those. While I have you, January meetings are the 6th and the 20th, correct? And I'm looking ahead, sorry.
January 6th. And I don't have the rest of the date, but it's the
The
Tuesday.
first and
before
more
entertainment.
the Tuesday afterward, okay. I had discussed with Commissioner Festinger, the possibility of holding off on any further roofing bids until spring due to weather. We could have days like today, we could have 50 degrees. It's Indiana, we never know. However, we can bid the remainder of the work on homes if homeowners prioritized HVAC, water heaters, anything like that. So with your blessing, I'm gonna go ahead and put those bids out, have them due the first week of January, and open them at the first meeting in January, if that's okay. That would make that work moving while it is cold. So,
And also, you've relayed to me that there, some, just for the board or for the public's knowledge, that some of this work has been done, it's been
Yes.
completed, and homeowners have
yes.
new HVAC
HVAC
components.
systems or water heaters, the first round of group that we opened, Holzman's have completed their work, and they actually did hit a snag on one home and completed it very quickly and farther under cost than I would have ever anticipated, so. Sandy and I were very pleased with it, yes. So, they have that component done. The Kelly's heating there is, should be completing their work very soon on the homes that they have, so we have our first set of complete homes.
And approximately how many homes would that have been?
We bid, the first one were 13, and I think we bid, this one's got 5 or 6.
So half a dozen people.
Yeah.
In short, we're seeing some fruits of the help
We're
program.
getting there, we're getting there. The TriCap portion of it actually is moving along as well. Molly had a big undertaking to compare some of the things that they would like to purchase. We don't have to go through a standard procurement with that. They had to price out, if they wanted to buy it from this company, they had to find some comparables and price out all of those items. All of that has been submitted to the state, and I'm hoping for an answer on that. So they should be able to spend their funds very shortly.
So it was process that wasn't always fun and pleasant, but it's nice now that
We're getting
the
there.
rewards are coming.
Thank you so much for all of your patience and everybody's hard work. And
Jane, when the home gets completed, can you let me know so that I can mark the contract complete? Because I guess it's complete
after that, we'll get, we'll have submitted a claims to open it and everything.
at the end of the once we.
I can let you know. But I will get with Mr. Sherry and we'll review this and we'll go from there.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you gonna attend this?
Is it, I forget, is it Wednesday? Whatever day it was, I think I had something else that evening, but I just think that if it works out, I'll stop in.
Right.
Just that,
I'll be back.
Yeah, they get beat up, but I'm not there.
hey, I'm not their enemy.
But I mean, I'm going to the conference, I don't know if I'm back in time, or reasonable time, I'll stop by. Yeah. Right.
So just for the record, we were discussing the property rights alliance document. There's going to be a meeting later this week, the commissioners are considering attending. I think so, yes. It's a group of people that it sounds like they want to discuss property rights and the impact of the potential roadway we have on property rights. Sandy, do you have anything else to report to that? Do either of the commissioners have anything for the board today?
No? Believe.
So is the commissioners conference this week?
I'm not leaving until tomorrow, they're meeting tonight, so I'm not sure what time I'll get up there tomorrow.
Are you both attending?
He's not, I am.
You're not going?
You on the ship?
Is there anything I need for you to take up there?
This is your,
Yeah.
your time sheet.
Did you put in for hotel? Stacy should have my consumption.
Because it looks like,
And just bring back. You
Okay.
see,
but it looks like.
itemized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I guess I do have one other thing, or I'm sorry to interrupt, are you guys finished with the conversation? Okay, I was thinking we still had 6 minutes until our next material bid discussion, but something that we need to discuss is the maintenance position at DuBois County Community Corrections. Jerry Grandelsbacher, after over a decade of service up there, has decided to retire at the end of the year. The county has advertised to replace Mr. Grandelsbacher. Probably been 3 weeks now that was advertised for. We've had some conversations with people about the position, and a few people have called in with questions about the position, and as of Friday, we haven't received a single applicant. So the job isn't attractive as it is. If you, from working with me, you know that I always like stair stepping. I don't want to dive right into a full-time employee. If we can get by with a part-time employee, that's where we were with this one. So the director, Mr. Madden, said he thinks that it's a position that should be full-time and it's a big undertaking. And I said, well, before we do that, let's see if we can replace it with another like person, very at part-time under the same conditions. So we've tried that, and that has failed to produce any results. So I guess the consideration for the board at this time is, should we make that position a full-time job? Take it from under 30 hours a week to 35 or 40 hours a week for a full-time maintenance person. So that's just something we need to talk about. So whenever
How long have we advertised for?
it's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks at least?
Because I think we started talking about it after it was 2 weeks and checking in, saying, hey, how's it going with getting applicants? And there hadn't been any. So, and I checked with Marky too on Friday and said, hey, if any applicants, so none of went to Mr. Madden, none of went to the HR. I don't recall, but I think the wage was listed somewhere in the range of $19 an hour. And it would go up, of course, next year a little bit, but with the additions that we've had to the building, with the technology that goes into a modern building, I think it's worth considering a full-time maintenance person for the sheriff's department, for their portion of the building. They have a full-time maintenance person. And I don't know, just any initial thoughts?
Not initially opposed to it. I hate moving anything from part-time to full-time. We don't have to.
Right.
Where have we advertised for the position? Is there?
I don't remember. It's on the, it's on our Facebook. I think it was on the Free Press. It was, and Indeed is usually the places we usually do it. I don't have that confirmed. Usually it's Indeed, a local paper, and the county website, county Facebook.
Okay. I mean, that seems like it should be sufficient. So,
If we'd like, we can have Mr. Madden come in and talk to us about it. He was willing to come in today, but I just thought I would get it out there. One of the benefits, if we moved quickly, was that person would get to work with Mr. Grammelsbacher for a few weeks at the end of the year. If we don't, but I mean, even there, we can't, if we created the position today, they would have to amend the salary ordinance, and it's just not gonna happen.
Funding for it, you can't do that until January.
So we may just be kind of stuck here. I mean, if we hired another part-time person right away, then that would have been fine, because we're just backfilling, but
I mean, I like the idea of going back to the part-time maintenance, and then if it needs to be moved up to a full-time position. But if we haven't had applicants,
well, it sounds like there's more responsibility now than when Jerry first started up there. So,
the new building.
just the mechanical room is considerably different than it used to be with the updated material.
I mean, I'm not opposed to a full-time position.
Do you want me to have Mr. Madden come in on the 16th, tell his story of why it's necessary, or do we
I'm
want
not
to?
sure, but I'm not sure that I would need him to come in and explain it. I mean, I understand the need.
The only other option I guess we could do is say, well, we're not gonna we didn't get any bites at $18, $19 an hour. Do we raise the wage to $22 an hour part-time and see if that attracts people?
I'm looking at Mike.
I don't know if the amount of wages is what's driving it, you have to be somewhat skilled in what you're doing. That's the difficult thing, I think. Like the one person I talked to, he wouldn't get off, should he get off the couch for $20 an hour, so I don't know if $22 an hour is gonna make a difference. I think you have to find the right person.
It's the ideal job for somebody like Jerry who retired from full-time work and, is skilled and able to do the position. And maybe because of that skill, they should make a little more than $19 an hour.
Maybe that's a drive.
So I mean, $19 an hour is just a shade over what you start on the plant floor at Jasper. So,
The flexibility of the job is somewhat positive thing in the job. You're not have to be there at 7 every morning and leave at noon or 1.
right.
You can be flexible. That's the ideal part of the job for a retired person, I think.
Are there any benefits that go with a part-time position?
So that's always the
Even if it would
way.
be 32, 35 hours?
If it's full-time, it's 29 or 30 hours or more.
Right, so you take that person that costs the county $19 an hour and you make them full-time now with the benefits, they now cost you $30 an hour.
Mhm.
Or 30
I
cents.
didn't know where the hours stood for.
Yeah. 30 hours is full-time.
Yeah, I don't want them to be stuck up there with the,
And if you're gonna have them at 30, you might as well have them at 35 or 40. Because they're getting the benefits.
I think I'd prefer to try the higher wage first. That's me. I'm not like eminently opposed to going full-time if that's what it's going to do. But I definitely rather for that for.
okay, so maybe between now and our next meeting, we can check what the wage range is. Maybe 19 is the top of whatever wage range comes in. Maybe it's below it, I don't know.
Yeah, LTC for 1826 to 2312 will be next year.
So we could advertise it as up to $23.12 per hour. If you advertise that, then everybody's gonna expect $23.12 an hour, which I understand, that's what I would expect too. But we just advertise it as $23 an hour and see what happens. Is that what you would think we would?
I mean, that's fair.
I would start there. You know,
Okay.
there's not much.
Couldn't start until January though.
Right, so I mean, we're kind of stuck there a little bit.
Right around the corner.
Pardon me?
That's right around the corner.
Yes. Commissioner Stefano, you in
I
favor of
agree.
that?
I agree. And
That's
then
all
if
right.
it needs to be full-time, then that's something we can discuss.
I think that's just another increment we can pass through. That, sometimes if we do that kind of thing, then the existing person on their way out the door leaves a sour taste in their mouth that, well, you weren't paying me that. But I guess there's not much we can do about that.
Unfortunately, sometimes that's how we find out we're paying less than we should be.
Right, yeah, we didn't know before. Let's do the awarding of highway annual material bid.
Item number one, the aluminum steel pipe. There were 3 bidders, 2 firm bids. E3 Bridge had a freight charge of less than $7,500 an order. Civicon had a freight charge of orders of less than $10,000. But Metal Culverts did not provide the required procurement form, so they're got out, yes. So recommending awarding to both bidders, both E3 and Civicon, but Civicon will be our main supplier for that product. You want to go through all of them, or you want to award them all at the end?
I say you go through all of them because I've spoken with him and everything, all of what he's gonna recommend today are things I'm okay with, unless it would benefit the other board members to discuss and potentially change.
If I got a question on the way, I'll ask.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
you're, item one, you're gonna award both bids.
Yep.
Civilcon's gonna be your number.
Primary, yes. Okay, polyethylene plastic pipe. 3 bidders on this item, 3 firm bids. So Southern Indiana Supply has a $50 drop charge for their orders under $2,000. E3 Bridge has a freight charge for orders less than $5,000, and Civicon has a $10,000 minimum order to avoid freight charges. So we're going to award the 2 on this one. We're going to award the Southern Indiana Supply and the Civicon. There's nothing against E3 Bridge. The price is per stick of pipe, or the 2 lows. Awarding the 3, this seems, we don't need it. We'll award to more than likely Southern Indiana Supply on most of them, with Civicon as a backup. Due to the $10,000 minimum order, we don't usually order that much pipe at one time. We do have the ability, but we don't do that very often. Item number 3, geotextile. There were 4 bidders on this item, only 3 were firm. they were, the, civil supply had an escalation, de-escalation clause. So that was the reason it wasn't a firm bid. We're going to, I recommend awarding to Cellular Supply and Silicon, and depending on the quantity of the order. So we do order a lot at one time with that, so Silicon would be low if we did that. Okay, ready mix concrete. There were 2 bidders on this item. Both IMI and Central Supply have $20 load charges. IMI has a partial load fee of $250 or less for 3.75 cubic yards. Concrete Supply has a $250 charge for less than 4 cubic yards. I recommend awarding to both IMI and Central, depending on availability and the project need. So there are times where one supplier can't get us the concrete when we need it because of another project they have going on. They both have been that way. It's not a problem. It's the nature of the business. So that's all
What it is.
yeah. Liquid asphalt bituminous. So we are carrying over the 2023 material bid from Master Materials all the way to 2025. That was approved at the September 16th meeting. Item number 6, hot asphalt concrete. 3 bids in this item. All 3 have a escalation, de-escalation. And then we recommend awarding to all 3. The reason all 3 is there were the 2 local suppliers of J. Rudolph and K. Quarries, but then E&B Paving came in significantly lower, but there is a significant drive involved with going to get that asphalt. So if we don't have the time, it gives us the ability to go closer to home. That's the reason we're doing 3 on that, in that case. Cave Quarries is more up north, Rudolph is down south, and then E&B is in Court. Cold mix, 2 bidders on this item, both have an escalation, de-escalation. Recommend awarding to J. Rudolph and Cave Quarries, just based on the area need. Nothing too earth-shattering there. Okay, then item number 8, stone from the quarries where we pick it up. There are 2 bidders on this. Recommend awarding to both Cave Quarries and Moser Crushed Stone based on price, area of need, and also quality of rock. Then item number 9, that is stockpiles, and are they actually spread on the roads for us? There are 2 bidders on this item. Recommend awarding to Cave Quarries and Moser Crushed Stone based on price, area of need, and quality of rock there as well.
So that contains everything that was bid on.
That's everything that's bid on.
And, the recommendations of the engineer. Anyone have any questions or comments?
No.
Anything else from?
I don't, that's all I got.
I'll move that we accept the recommendations of the county engineer on the bidders that we accept on the individual items 1 to 9. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. You ready yet or not yet? Okay, so we have an update.
We have reviewed bids. We did have one incomplete package.
Which bidder was the incomplete package?
Collins,
And what was the reasoning?
John, no bid on.
No bid on.
Okay, and when you reviewed the 3 different ones, was there one that, what can you tell us about the bid?
That TNT Roofing out of Holland was low bidder on 7 of 8.
Okay, how much were they off on bid number 8? Or what was the difference?
49.69, 47.95, so $200.
Okay,
Between Google Roofing and
But total between those.
TNT.
and the way that each of the bids were structured, or one or up to 8 on to any of the bidders, and they
Yes.
have to, right, I mean, they bid with that understanding.
Yes.
Do you have is there a benefit to you, as administrating this, that, going with one contractor over going with 2 contractors makes it any better or worse? Is there any benefit to the homeowner to do one over another? We
No.
feel that they're both,
I think they're both qualified. All 3 of the bidders were very enthusiastic. All have reached out, asked lots of good questions. One of them has done this type of work in another area. One is, or the other 2 just do a lot of homes in general, so.
and did the amount of the bids meet what our expectation was?
Yes, all of them fall within the funding that the county has allocated for homes. There are some homes that bids did get a little close on it, but that was to be expected. Roofs are,
Close is okay.
close is okay, and they're all under, and under is good.
Any thoughts from the board?
No.
Mr. Stefano?
No.
On how we should award them?
So if we're gonna award them individually, I think we do have to read the numbers.
So,
Because we don't have a tab sheet to hand
Yeah.
out to anybody.
so you're gonna say,
I'll
house
say,
number 1 is the Smith house, and it's for this amount of money.
yes.
So I guess unless the board feels differently, we'll allow the bids to be read and accompanied with each one, but then my thought would be just award the low bidder, so 7 of them will go to the one company, and
Correct.
1 will go to the other company.
Correct. And I would agree. And the incomplete bid, you don't need to read
I
that.
will not read that, but I will read it.
Good.
Okay, for the Harder home, TNT bid was $6,079. And the bid from Gogol, sorry, I was looking, it was $7,565. For the Farley home, TNT was $8,768. Bid from Gogol was $9,235. For the Egg home, TNT was $3,334. Gogol was $4,740.
We read the first one again, sorry.
For the egg,
Hey,
yes, sir. TNT, $3,334.
that's a lot of threes.
That was a lot of threes. And apologize if I mispronounced your last name, Cuellar, Cuellar. TNT, $6,829. Gogol was $7,580. Kraus, TNT was $4,969. Gogol was $4,795. They were the low on that. That was the home that they were the lowest on. For the Craven home, TNT was $12,845. Gogol was $14,869. Beekline, TNT was $7,370. Gogol was $9,145. And the last property, it's a Bradley property, TNT, $8,134. Gogol was $8,372. And I will compile this into a spreadsheet and email that over to Sandy and then all of you if you'd like as well.
And if the Collins contracting bids would have been acceptable, would they have been lower bidder?
No, sir.
So it didn't change the outcome necessarily. Okay.
They. There's one that's close. No,
So it appears that the low bidder had an acceptable bid.
yes, they were
Every
responsive
case.
and responsible.
Yes. Unless the board feels differently, I'm ready to move on it, so I'll move that we approve accepting the low bidder on each of the 8 homes, those with the contractors being awarded being TNT Roofing and Gobel Roofing.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
I will prepare contracts, have Mr. Schneider review. We have used a standard contract, we just fill in the home and the bid amount and the work to be done, and then we'll get those to you guys for signature. Do you want to sign those prior to your next meeting or at the next meeting?
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So, I can sign it outside of the meeting, we've approved them, so I think that, I mean, that would probably keep the process moving, right?
Yes, I will get those to you this week then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll send that bid tag over.
Sounds great. Check my numbers on.
You're welcome.
2025 appointments. So, I believe everybody has looked at the appointments, we've discussed them all, but just for the record, I will read off the names, and then we will say, I'll move that we approve all of these people that we talked about previously, but here we go. So for the 4-H Council, Ed Baglin and Cerise Stefano. 911 Advisory Board, Chad Blessinger and Scott Ebeler. Airport Authority, Michael Cummings. Alcohol Beverage Commission, David Brady. Ambulance Coordinator, Ryan Young. Ambulance Coordinator Assistant, Amanda Ferguson. Area Development Corporation, known as DuBois Strong, Chad Blessinger. Contractual Public Library Board for Jasper, well, contractual library, so it's Galen Lobsher. Custodian Scott Hove, County Attorney Gregory Schneer, DuBois County Child Protection Team Cerise Stefano, Ferdinand Planning Commission Ryan Becker, Health Board Lori Lubahusen, Highway Clerk Ann Mesmer, Highway Engineer Brent Winholt, Highway Supervisor Donnie Leakin, Huntingburg Planning Commission Dennis Whitsett, Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission Nick Hostetter, Jasper Planning Commission Kim Hagan, Northeast DuBois Fire Protection District Randy Leakin, Patoka Lake Regional Water and Sewer District Cerise Stefano, the Property Tax Board of Appeals Dwayne Pearson and Brian Smith, Solid Waste Management District Board Ken Seacard, Tourism Committee Kim Fisher, TriCap Board of Directors Emily Meyer, and the Weed Control Board is Donnie Leakin. Anyone opposed to any of those, or did I misspeak on any? No. I'll move that we approve those appointments for DuBois County.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. I'm gonna grab one more thing, and I think that'll be the last order of business for today.
Chili in here, it's hot.
I know,
Which one do you want, the councils?
4-H Council.
Do you keep the
Yeah.
original
Oh, for sure, yeah.
appointment form, or do you, have a copy? You keep, because, Cerise can take the 4-H councils this evening. If I give her that, I'll just keep, I'll keep the original and give her a copy then. Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, why can you do this, okay?
All right, last order of business.
I finally made it.
The DuBois County Auditor Sandy Morton has 30 years of service to the people of DuBois County. And every time we give out one of these awards, it's always an honor to give them out. And it's nice to be able to show some gratitude to the people that do so much for the people of DuBois County. and I can sincerely say none more than Auditor Morton. She's given a lot of herself over the years, and she's always been wonderful to work with. And I would argue for myself that without her, county just wouldn't operate nearly as well as it does. And yeah, she's a big asset to me. I don't know. I don't have enough words to say all the great things I'd like to say about you and the things that you do and the amount of work that you take on that is over and above what is required of you. So it's wonderful people like you that help keep DuBois County as great as it is. So we want to give you the 30-year service award and say thank you.
Thank you.
You have anything?
It's going fast. It really has.
You want to take a picture with the board?
Sure, why not?
Come on in.
Come on in.
Oh, Mike should come up too.
Mike, you want to come in?
Mike,
Go ahead, Mike.
You can do it, Mike.
She helps you just as much as them.
Yeah, Mike and I aren't afraid to take full advantage of your services.
Got him.
perfect, thank you.
My first plaque. It took me 30 years to get it. Well, thank you.
You want to give a speech?
No.
You can't.
2 years, 1 month, I'm retiring.
She's down.
At least share with us one positive, wonderful thing that you've been a part of that you're grateful that you were able to help accomplish.
Working with us.
This
She's like, no, not that.
I'm being on the spot, the thing I'm most proud of is our clean audits. I keep telling you guys
Oh,
that.
my goodness, yeah.
Year to year, that's my goal, and that's what I'm.
Absolutely.
So for the public that doesn't know,
Yeah.
we deal with $43 million of property taxes maybe, and then on top of that, how many funds? 100
We have
funds?
no, we have almost 200 funds.
Almost 200 individual funds, and every dollar and each one of those needs to be tracked, accounted for on a daily basis, if not, maybe weekly for some or monthly, some that don't get used as often. But when we have the State Board of Accounts come and they look at our books, they say, wow, you did a great job. Everything's in order. We've not had any adverse findings of any significance in 20 years that I'm aware of.
Wow.
And so your history has been, you're the serving elected official, the auditor currently, you were the chief deputy previously. And where were you, what was your?
I started as 6th deputy back with Mark Brusher.
Oh, my goodness.
So you started at the entry level and now you're the elected official, so.
It's been a fast 30 years, let me tell you. It goes fast. But I've enjoyed it. I've always said I'm a public servant. I'm here to serve the public. So.
Done a wonderful job, Sandy.
Okay, well, that's as good of a way to end a meeting as I know. Is there anybody else that has any other business for the county today?
No worries.
Seeing none, we'll close the meeting.
I have my own throne in there.